God.
Hot. Not catching many fish.
I just had a bite right there for sure. I swear I just started with it.
There he is.
God. That was the one I just had that guy too.
No, it's probably. Eee. Yeah, he's about a pound and a half. He's so fat.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about flipping and pitching. We're going to talk about like what's my favorite setup for flipping and pitching, what's my go-to for certain baits, how to rig one, what rod and reel you got to use, what line, and what situations do you want to flip, and best times to flip, all the good stuff for flipping, which is probably one of my favorite techniques. It's not my favorite technique, it's probably number 2 on the list. I definitely would say number 1 is top water, but definitely number 2 is flipping. It's just a lot of fun and it catches a lot of big bass. So let's get into it right now. All right, so talking about flipping. Now, we get down to the basics, the rod, the reel, the line, and what bait to choose, the hook and the weight. Now, first I'm gonna talk about like when is flipping a good thing to do, how it's effective and why it catches such big fish. And the biggest thing when it comes to flipping is, my favorite time to flip is, of course, the spring and the summer. That's when, you're going to get your more high percentage bites. You're going to catch more fish flipping. And a lot of that has to do with the spawn and the pre-spawn, the post-spawn. Fish are feeding, fish are spawning. You got fish that are, garden fry. And that's when, flipping can be really good during that. Summertime, you get fish that pull up into mats, pull up into grass, lily pads, and that's when, flipping and punching, which punching to me is the same thing as flipping, it really is. It's just where you use a bigger weight and you punch through the thick grass, so it's the same thing. But that's when you're gonna get your more percentage on bites and bigger fish. Now, you can flip in the wintertime, but it's a lot more slower process. You're not gonna get as many bites, but you will catch bigger fish doing it. And the reason you catch bigger fish flipping is, you're getting in the nastiest of stuff. You're flipping in trees, you're flipping in grass, you're flipping in thick lily pads and mats. A lot of where those bigger fish are gonna be hiding out at, ready to ambush bait and, trying to get away and, just being lazy and in the shade and get out of the sun. So you get a lot more bigger bites flipping. It's one of my favorite personal techniques. Like I said, it's number 2 on the list of best favorite technique to do when fishing. But let's get into the rod and reel. Let's get into the line. Let's get into the bait and weights and all that good stuff. So starting out, we'll start with the reel. This reel right here, take that bait off so you can see it a little better. This reel right here is a Shimano SLX MGL. Now, I love this reel for flipping, and the reason why, it's got a shallow spool. It's not very deep, so you can line it up with 20-pound fluorocarbon and you can just go down the bank and just flip for days. It's super smooth, very strong. I love Shimano. They're very reliable. You're fishing in some of the nastiest of cover, so you need a reel that can really pull fish out of that stuff, like heavy mats and lily pads, and this reel right here really holds up for that. Now, this is important, the gear ratio. When I'm flipping, I don't like anything less than a 7-gear ratio. When I'm flipping super heavy mats, I like a 7 or an 8. I don't go to a 9 a whole lot of times because I feel like you either can take it away from the fish or you're overpowering the fish. I don't ever really go to a 9-gear ratio with that. I won't go over an 8 or under a 7. But I'd say a 7, 5-to-1 is probably right there at the perfect. It's really the perfect gear ratio, and that's exactly what this one is. And to me, it just is flawless. This reel really is. This reel's not really made for fishing deep or making long casts. Like I said, it's got a shallow spool, so you're not going out there and fish deep cranking with this reel at all. But Shimano SLX MGL 7 5-to-1 gear ratio, dang good reel, perfect for it. All right, let's go to the rod now. I'm gonna have to flip it so you guys can see the logo on it. All right, so the rod we're using is a Ducket. This is a Silverado. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know what kind of rod this was. It's a Ducket Silverado. I didn't know what kind it was. I just couldn't remember the name. It's a Ducket Silverado. This is actually a 7.6 heavy. Now, for what I like to do around here at my house, the biggest thing I'm flipping is laydowns, trees, maybe some grass, maybe rock, things of that nature, just clay banks, docks. you know, a 7/6 heavy really is perfect for that, because it's just going to get the fish out of that heavy cover. A lot of backbone. When you set the hook, you're definitely going to drive that hook into the fish, and you're going to make sure you have a way better hook setup, and you're going to land the fish a whole lot better. Better feel, you know, you're going to feel that bait a whole lot more. That 7/6, that length, what that's going to do is it's going to help you toss that bait out a lot further. You're going to pitch it, and you're going to flip it way out a lot further into the trees, into the cover, whatever you're trying to get up under. I wouldn't recommend it as a skipping rod and reel. It is a little difficult to skip with this rod. I mean, I can do it, but it's not the best. I would go down to like a 7 foot if you're wanting to skip, just depending on how big you are. You know, for me, I got short arms, shorter guy, so, you know, I like a 7 foot or like a 6/8 rod to skip. But for just flipping in general, 7/6 heavy. This is a Duckett Silverado. Check it out. I love this rod. It looks good too, that carbon fiber look on it. It goes from like a gray to like this white, like Ducketts normally have. Very durable. Love this reel. It's perfect. Line, like I said, just depends on what you're flipping in. You know, if you're punching mats, heavy cover, you're gonna want to go to 60 pound, 30 to 60 pound braid, just so you don't, you know, break off. You know, lily pads are super strong. Those roots, you ain't pulling those roots out of the ground. So, you know, you definitely need high braid for that. But for what I'm doing, flipping docks, flipping trees, laydowns, 20 pound fluorocarbon, the best. Fluorocarbon is just gonna, you know, hide it from the fish. It's not gonna really pressure them. They're not gonna see it. And the 20 pound just gives you that extra strength just in case it rubs against the tree. And if you hook a 4-pounder in a laydown and then that line's rubbing against that tree, it's not gonna break. It's gonna give you the strength and durability to hoist that fish out of the cover, and your landing bites will be a whole lot better. All right, let's go to the bait. Actually, I'm gonna just do it with this real quick. Okay, so my favorite bait to flip, and this is the reason I got this specific one, because this is my absolute favorite to flip, and this is the Googan Bait Bandito Bug. I like it in Bama Bug color. Let me get that so I can show you guys. Yeah, this little guy right here, as you can see, this dude does some damage. Them little appendages, you just take them and you just pinch them apart. You pinch all these little appendages apart, even the big ones, and they'll just flare up. They'll kick a lot of action, make a lot of vibration. I like the Bama Bug because you got like this hard candy June bug type color on the back. Turn around, you got this little green pumpkin type color on the front. So it's a little different. The fish gives them something different to look at, but I have found a lot of success in this little bait right here. It's more of a beaver style bait, I would say, than anything else. It's kind of slender. It's got like it just got them dirty. But it's got like this rib cage, so, you know, it's gonna go in and out of like, you know, thick mats really well. It's gonna go through any kind of cover very well, so that flat body. But yeah, Googan Baits, Bandito Bug. Yeah, check them out. I love them. I like Googan Baits. They make some pretty good stuff. And what I like to use for hook and weight just depends on what I'm doing. So if I'm punching, we'll go to like an ounce. This is an ounce tungsten. I like tungsten. It's super durable. The difference between tungsten and lead, tungsten is way more expensive and lead's way cheaper, but tungsten is super durable. It's gonna last you a very long time. It's a lot more sensitive. You can feel a lot more with tungsten. But yeah, 1 ounce, I'm punching grass mats, lily pads, thick reeds, 1 ounce with that. But if you're doing like what I do, flipping around, you know, around home, you know, trees, just all kinds of laydowns, or, you know, grass reeds or docks, you know, you're gonna go to like a 3/16 or a 1/2 ounce, a 1/4 ounce weight, which I actually had rigged up on that. And then I always use a flipping hook. This is a Laser Trocar TK30 flipping hook. I don't know what size this is because I literally just grabbed it out of the box. So, but yes, flipping hook's really important. What it does, it's got the little keeper on there, keeps the bait secure going through the cover. It's got that really wide body. It's got the thick hook, so when you're in that heavy cover, it's gonna make sure it pins them. Really good hook sets. The only downside to a flipping hook though is that keeper will rip your plastics apart. So, you know, if you're just out in the pond flipping, I would just go with a normal worm hook or a normal wide gap hook, you know, nothing fancy, you know. But if I'm flipping mats, flipping laydowns, and it's tournament day or I'm trying to catch a big bass, definitely going with the flipping hook. But okay, that's it for this short video on my flipping setup and how I use it, and just the equipment that I use. I'm gonna link down in the description below all the equipment that I used and talked about in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up. It really helps the videos. Subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I always forget that part. But thank you guys for watching. Peace out.